Avoid social comparison. We are in the era of social media. We see a lot of things. Couple goals, oh, this couple, they are going on vacation and having fun and all of that. And because of those pictures, because of those videos you see on social media, you think that your husband is not romantic enough. You think your wife is not romantic enough because you're comparing what you're seeing, sorry, excuse me, on social media with your own reality at home. Oh, can I be honest with you? Some of those things, some of those couples you see, some of them, not all of them, some of them are just acting it. Some of them are not really, enjoying themselves. They're just doing it to keep up appearance. So it's important that you do not compare your husband or your marriage to what you see on social media or what you hear about. Appreciate the one you have, appreciate your husband, appreciate your wife, appreciate the efforts he or she is making to see that you're happy. Leave those things you see on social media. Focus on your marriage, focus on working on your marriage and enjoying your marriage with your husband or your wife. When you maybe see your friends and you think they're having the best time in their marriages, and your marriage doesn't, maybe your husband is not as romantic as your friends' husbands or something like that. So focus on your lane, focus on your marriage, focus on making your marriage work, focus on making your husband happy, making your wife happy, and do not be carried away by the social media serere, all the drama and all the love romance you see on social media. Next one I wrote here is keep your sex life active and exciting. Keep your sex life active and exciting. It's important that you have sex. Decide how regular you want to have sex with your husband. Make love, actually, not have sex. Make love and have exciting sexual life with your husband or your wife. It's important that you explore. Don't be, don't stick to a particular style or method. Explore other styles, explore other sexual positions with your spouse. And God created sex for us to enjoy, for pleasure, for procreation, for bonding, for marriage couples. So try as much as possible to pump so much positive energy into that area, okay? And this is a deliberate thing you need to do. You need to be intentional about it, and don't be predictable. Sometimes spice things up. You could, you know I'm not gonna tell you all of that because I know I'm not married. You ask me how did I know? Okay, so it's important that you make your sexual life with your husband very interesting, exciting. Try different things, try new things, discover things yourselves. Discover, explore his body, explore her body. Okay, so if your spouse feels neglected or unwanted or just tolerated, those feelings of being undesired could generate a big push towards someone else's bed. Let your husband or your wife not feel unwanted by you. Let her not feel neglected. Let him not feel neglected, because when he feels neglected, you are indirectly pushing him or pushing her to another person's bed, a strange man's bed or a strange woman's bed. So let your husband know that you want him. Let your wife know that you want him. Don't neglect your husband. Don't disregard their needs. As much as they communicate what they want sexually, try as much as possible to meet their needs, okay? All right, so stay romantic. Now, being romantic is very important. Even if you don't know, if you're not romantic or your wife tells you you're not romantic, ask her what being romantic to her means. Let her explain in clear terms. Let him explain in clear terms what being romantic to her or to him means. Ask her questions and let her know that you really want to satisfy her, you really want to please her, you really want to please him. So if you hear something, your wife tells you, oh baby, you're not even romantic, or darling, your husband tells you you're not romantic, ask him what being romantic means. Sometimes dress to flatter yourself, sometimes wear those sexy lingerie, ladies, sisters. Sometimes play with him. Send him some love text messages, send him some love chats while he's working. Oh baby, I'm thinking about you, like you're the best man in the world, and things like that. Keep him thinking about you. The same as men, send those love messages to your wife, appreciate them. They could just be going doing their normal day thing, and then they just get a message from you, or some text messages from you, telling them how much you love them, telling them, yes, how much you love them, and all of that. So be romantic, stay romantic, learn to be romantic, sir. Learn to be romantic, my sister. Learn to be romantic. Okay, so dress occasionally to, and wear something flattering, something that shows your curves, sisters. Something that your partner likes to see you in. It could be a bomb shot. I think we are past that era of tying wrapper on the chest as ladies. I mean, your husband did not marry his mother. It's good that you wear things that would keep him excited. Whenever he sees you, he wants to do, he wants to, kiss you, he wants to grab you, he wants to make love to you. So wear those things we see you wear outside, wear it for your husband. All those things that are showing Bobby, it's inside your house that you should be wearing it for your husband. And guys, men, wear those boxers. Wear your boxers. Like, there's certain clothing you wear to flatter that your husband will say, oh my goodness, and he just be ravished in your love, or by your love. So the Bible says, let her breast satisfy you. So let him wear something that he will see that your breast will satisfy him. Now pay attention to your appearance. It's important that you pay attention to your appearance. Men, some men do not really do the male grooming. You don't know that your wife wants to see you looking dapper, looking clean. I mean, do the pedicure, go for massage, go for facials if you can afford those things. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to yourself. I don't know if men really do this, like deliberately want to look good for their wives. I see a lot of ladies, sisters, even single ladies, they just go out of their way to dress for their men. But I don't know if men really do that. You make the effort to look good for your wives, look sweet for your wives, not just in dressing, but pay attention to your body, pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your grooming. Let her know that you're doing it for her. Okay? Now, talk to friends who will hold you accountable. It's important that you have friends who hold you accountable. Friends that would be able to call you to order and tell you, you didn't do well in this area, you should have done better in this way, or in this area you shouldn't have spoken to your wife this way, you shouldn't have spoken to your husband in this manner. So it's important that you have friends that you are accountable to. Now, if you have issues, with being faithful to your spouse, if you have had issues with being faithful, to your spouse, it's important that you surround yourself with people, authorities in your life that you'll be accountable to, that will hold you accountable. Not just only friends, but people maybe that are much older than you in marriage, people that you look up to, maybe your mentor, maybe your pastor. Just have people that can hold you accountable, right? You shouldn't have people who agree to everything you say in your marriage. You should have people that will caution you. You should have people that will tell you to your face that you are not being a good husband to your wife, or you're not being a good wife to your husband. And not people that agree to everything you say and say, okay, just because they want to make you feel good. So it's important that we have people we are accountable to, have authorities in your lives, in the, husbands have authorities in your lives that your wives can, report you to them when you mess up. The same as wives, it's not a good thing that we hear something like, oh no, my husband doesn't listen to anybody, my wife doesn't listen to anybody. It's not a good thing. It's good for us to have people that can advise us and call us to order and caution us when we are going the wrong path. All right, so these are the ways that you will ensure not to cheat on your spouse. Let me run through it again. Make choices that are in the best interest of your relationship. Keep the communication open. Don't keep secrets. Remember that evil thrives in secrecy. So wives, be open to your husbands, and husbands, be open to your wives. Keep the communication line open. Communicate your fears, communicate your needs, communicate your worries, everything to your wife, and encourage her to do the same for you. Set boundaries for each other and ensure that you don't cross those boundaries. Spend quality time with your spouse, and don't deliberately touch someone of the opposite sex or people of the opposite sex in an inappropriate way or in an affectionate way that could start off temptation or that could lead to infidelity. Avoid social comparison, and keep your sex life active and exciting. Pay attention to your appearance as a man, as the wife, as the husband. Pay attention to your appearance. Look good for your wife, look good for your husband. Talk to your friends who will hold you accountable. Talk to authorities in your life who would hold you accountable. And if you do this way, things, and most importantly, God is the originator of marriage. God is the one that instituted marriage. And if you and your partner can commit your ways into God's hands, commit your marriage into God's hands, and always go by His word, check His word, let His word be your guiding principle, trust me, you would have a thriving marriage and a long-lasting marriage till forever. Okay, so I hope you were able to pick a thing or two and you were blessed by today's episode. Until I come your way again, God willing, have a wonderful day. My name is Uche Akomas. Take care and God bless you.